Alright, cleaning of the old flushed out valve did not work. So, went to the hardware store and got a new flush valve. It's pretty much got some instructions here on how to do it. You can read it, it's pretty simple. Just don't make this complicated at all, because it's really not. What I do is I take my old one and set it next to my new one and make sure this length here is about the same, because these are adjustable. All you have to do is slide this little piece up and then screw this part in or out to get the right length. So I'm going to come out a little bit here, which I will do. I'm going to go the other way. It's a little bit opposite. Okay, that should do it. And just set that little lint ring down. Good to go. Alright. Most of the time when you take it out, you'll have a different type of flush valve. And don't worry about it. This is just a float right here. This is the float versus the rod coming out and the big ball over here. You can replace it with that style too. They're a little more complicated, I think. This is a pretty simple model. This gasket here, just knock this center piece out. I believe this gasket's what goes on the supply line, but I never use them. They usually don't work correctly. I mean, they will in some applications, but mine, I've always been able just to reuse the old gasket. But this the gasket goes on. You want to look at it. This goes down. Don't put it on like that. That part goes on there like that. So the beveled edge deal, that's what sets down inside the toilet tank. And just put that on. If you have this style, you can just reuse this hose here. Or you got a brand new one. I'm not that particular. This one will work because I've already got it cut to length. Work on the old valve. Okay, that's ready to go in. It's all adjusted. Good to go. Alright. Let's come over here and check this mating surface here. Make sure there's no particles, large particles there of calcium or sand or whatever. So make sure of that, because that'll usually cause a leak. Set that valve there. Just kind of push on it a little bit and you'll feel it kind of go down in the hole, the little area right there. You'll see that lip right there. You go down. See, I've already got something. I'm moving it. I've already got something right there. See it? A little fragment. That will cause a leak. Alright. I'm going to push it down there. It actually had a little click and it just fell in the hole, which that's what you want. Okay. And just put the lock nut on. Take the lock nut, just make sure you don't cross thread it. Put your lock nut on. It goes on real easy. Just hold the valve in place where you want it. Pretty much what you want is to make sure that this hose here will go into this easily, which it does. I just use my old hose because there's nothing wrong with it. I usually have these things usually back up about every year and a half or so. Alright, just kind of hold the valve in place. Snug up the lock nut with your hand. Give it a little tight right here. Channel locks. Make sure when you do this that it doesn't turn up top here, because sometimes they'll twist with the turning. Just you have to put your hand on it if you have to. One thing you want to check as you tighten, you want to get it tightened all the way up and then see it's up against the toilet wall and it won't work correctly. That's good. Snug. You don't have to tighten it super tight and you'll end up breaking something. Okay, I always put this up where it's nice and able to turn. There's that gasket there, which looks to be in good shape. Just kind of get it to where it goes up in there where it lines up and start turning it on. Just try not to cross thread it. Okay, it's starting to grab and go now. I'll just give this a little shake there. Help the gasket if something's out of place or whatever. And sometimes it will help it to get into place. And just snug this down. Pretty much you just snug this down with your hand. Maybe give it just a little turn with the pliers. Not much. Usually them gaskets will do the job. I'm just going to give it a little tug here with the wrench. Okay, good enough. Alright. Now we're ready to turn the water on. Check for leaks. Alright. What I'm doing is just once it fill up, what I do is usually take a little toilet paper or something, paper towel, and go up underneath here where he was and dry everything off so you can check it. That way you know there's no water there whatsoever. And if you check it and there is water, then you got something leaking and you have to give something a little tug. Take a little toilet paper and go around here. Clean the line itself. Dry the line itself and all around it. Okay. Alright, so just watch this fill up. Well, you don't usually have a fill line. I believe that's what it says right there, fill line. Right there, that's where you want to go to. And you can adjust it with a screw right here that raises and lowers the float when it's not overflowing, because if the water comes all the way up, it'll go over and in here, and you hear trickle, 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 trickle all night, and then you know you haven't done anything. Alright, it filled up, and that's pretty close. Alright, what we'll do is flush it one time. See the flapper valve comes up, and then it closes off. Boom. And then this is filling up the bowl part, and that is filling up the tank part. I like to flush it a couple times to make sure it's not going to come up above there. Sometimes you flush it once and okay, it's good. You leave it and come back a little later or something and it's overflowing or something. I've seen them do that. So just flush it a couple times and check it. Okay, we're right here at the fill mark. Well, we got lucky this time. And flush it again. Let's check it. Oop. Alright, at this point, I will stick my hand around here and check for leaks. Touch the line down here, the bottom of the line. Okay. Check all up around here. You know, make sure you got a dry hand when you do this. Stick everything, fill it, and dry. Good. It's a good time. Okay. Alright, we'll flush it one more time, and I want to show you this flapper valve. Now, if this chain is not long enough, it will just go. And if you let go of the handle, you know, if the chain's got a lot of slop in it, it won't go but so far. It won't flip all the way up, like it just did there. So this part will come up and hit your toilet lid, and it won't let the flapper valve come all the way up. I'll show you exactly what this flapper valve does. Okay, level's good. Now watch the flapper valve. It comes up and stays up. So it allows enough time for the water to make it flush. That's why it's important to have the chain tight. There's just a little bit of minimal slack there. What about that? You can actually tighten out a little bit if you could. It's just working fine. One problem I have is the flush valve itself was not letting water come in. But it's working good now. That's it. I'll come out a little later and check periodically, periodically check that supply line there, make sure it's not leaking, and that's it. You fix your leaking toilet, you're saving money, you're saving water. Alright.